So this is a fuel pump on a 97 Corolla CE 1.6 liter. If you pull up the seat just by yanking up on it, the entire seat will come up, and then you're left with this fuel pump kind of access hatch cover with this grommet and then 4 screws. So if you undo these 4 screws, then we'll be able to access the kind of the fuel pump assembly in its entirety. Once these 4 screws are removed, then you can also remove this grommet, and then you can move this out of the way. And then this will actually already be connected, but this will be connected over here. You just have to press on this bottom kind of release, and then the connector should come out straight away. And with the grommet here as well removed, then you can just remove the connector from the cover and move this cover out of the way. So now we see here's our pressurized line, here's our return line over here, and then here's the connector. To get this kind of pressurized line to disconnect, you're going to take the male end, so the one that's the threaded, and you're going to turn that counterclockwise to release, counterclockwise kind of coming from the line side to release, while holding on this one with a 19. So this is a 14 and a 19, and then you can undo it like that after it's broken free. Because I have a set of these hose removers, I'm going to just use these hose pliers to kind of move this return line out of the way, and then be sure to have some rags around to catch any fuel that's still in the line. Alright, and then we'll move these out of the way just for now, and maybe cover them up a little bit with the shop rag just to keep them out of the way. Alright, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 Phillips head screws, or I guess these are technically JIS, that we just need to remove to actually get the fuel pump assembly out. So let's start on that. Alright, so this is the last of the screws holding in the fuel pump assembly. Let's see if we can move it. Oh, there we go. So now we can remove this. This is still a full tank, so I just got to be very careful. And I've already brushed the area just to ensure that I don't get any dirt into the fuel tank. Okay, so taking a look at this fuel pump, let's bring this over here. It looks like it is connected to the kind of assembly, the rest of the assembly, just via a couple of hose clamps. So for this one, we just need to measure how long this hose is, because we need to replace it, and then cut the hose that is included in the DENSO kit. So there's a hose in this DENSO kit to kind of to match that length. So let's take a look at that. Alright, so for kind of model number 9500100, which is the kit for these 97 Corollas, this fuel pump hose is about 24 millimeters long. So we'll go ahead and cut a piece of tube from the included kit to 24 millimeters. So these DENSO instructions, they tell you to cut the hose between the fuel pump outlet, so this is this one, and the fuel pump itself, so this hose. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So being careful not to slice into the cables that are just behind this hose. So once that's removed, then we should just be able to remove this from the top, like so, and out of the way. So this is a rubber isolator as well, so it's not actually like that secure onto the bracket. And then I have a little bit of rubber left over on here, and then I can just disconnect the final connector here. Then there's my fuel pump removed. And finally, I will remove the leftover fuel line that is still on this outlet hose. Here's the tube I need to cut to 24 millimeters. I got new hose clamps that I'll be using. Cool. Alright, so here's the actual fuel pump itself. Here's the new strainer that came in with the kit. There's a locating pin here in the center of the fuel pump, and then there's also kind of a locating hole up the top here. So you're gonna pop this on top here like this, and then there is a retaining clip, and then this one will probably need a little bit of a both hands deal with some pliers to actually get seated properly. So apparently this thing needs to be with the clip with the pins pointing out. So this might take a little bit of finagling. Alright, so that is secure. The clip, the inner clip prongs are pointed outwards away from the pump itself, which is as the instructions say. Let's take off this dust cap. This is going to be our outlet. And then let's put on the new tube. This is our new tube. Get that seated properly. And then I'm going to add first clip over here. Looks like these are built that you just pull and then the clip will actually seat. So let's get this down all the way to the base, and then we'll put the other one on as well before we come back to the assembly itself. And then here, make sure that everything slides into place pretty accurately. Looks like this doesn't come with the isolator, so we might have to reuse our old isolator. So let's put that back on the bottom. Keep that noise down for the fuel pump. And then slide this, put the electrical connector back on. And then slide this onto the outlet port. Alright. And then this isolator will go in its home. Push that into place. That seems pretty secure. I'm going to locate the actual where I want these clips to go, and then I'm going to pull the tab so they seat as I want them to. So that and that. So now you can see that the hose clamp is on the top, on the outlet hose, and then here at the bottom clamp to the pump itself, and we've connected our electrical connector on that back side. All right, now we're back in the car. I'm going to make sure I orient this the right way. I'm going to insert the the whole fuel pump assembly with the float first. Taking care not to bend it because I don't want to mess up my fuel level. And then I'm going to set this down, make sure the gasket is flat all the way around. I'm not going to have any gas fume leaks. Alright, looks like this is also in the right position with the connectors going in the right direction to where we removed them earlier. So that's that. Then now we're going to put in our screws. Alright, so now this is going in. It's hand tight. And then move this. Alright, let's move this hose clamp into place. And then take our 14 and 19 again. And tighten these up. Alright, that should be pretty good. And finally, let's put the cover back on, thread it through, and set the grommet, and plug in the electrical connector. and then set down the cover. And here's the cover back on with all 4 screws down. So now let's remove our tools and then turn this puppy on.